Hello, Tracy here. Welcome back to my channel. So we're on to part 2. I will do a flip through of my 4 signatures later, but so all I've done is the next day I've sewn around. I've sewn on this side. This paper was a little bit too thin for my liking, so I actually put a second layer on. And it feels a lot more sturdier, so that will be like the front. So the next thing that we have to do is I want to sew the signatures in. I have a template, it's just shy of our 8. Now what was it, 8 3/4, so my template is shorter than that. It's about 8.5, so I'm just going to make sure I'll actually flip it this way. So I'm going to, if you can see, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 grooves. So what I want to do, the easiest way I've found was I've got myself my template. I've measured in the middle. I've measured 1.5 inches from the top and put a T so I know that that's the top, and 1.5 inches from the bottom. Drawn lines across, so that literally is it. I'm going to make sure there's a little bit of a gap there, a little bit of a gap there, so it's relatively even. And then I'm just going to put a little mark on the, not the first one, but the second row. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in from this side. So there's the first one. I'm going to mark the second row. And I get that about even. So a little dot there, little dot there, little dot there. Easiest way I've found is turning it over. And then, so you've got a line, dot, line, dot, line, dot. So you should have 4 dots, and that's your 4 signatures. And this way, I find that they're nice and even when you sew your signatures in. And then last dot there. So we have 4 dots. Nice and easy. So, next thing we want to do is find the awl, which in this case I was totally unprepared because I was excited to get in here and actually make it. So I've got that. I need to find my book, which should be somewhere around, maybe not. Okay. We're just going to use this underneath. So I want to prick all my holes. I should say that you will need some of these. You will need 7 plus another 7, 14. And then you will need another 14 for your strip. So let's just poke these holes. Cool. We're not going to be able to see that through that material, but we'll work with it when it comes time to putting the signatures in. Oh yeah, I can just see it, barely. I'm not going to film myself putting the signatures in. I think everyone knows how to do that, and there's plenty of videos out there. I'm using the 3 pamphlet hole to stitch it in. I did think about doing the 5, but yeah, I opted with the 3. Oops. Okay, so you can barely see it, but that's fine. Right, let's do a flip through of these signatures. I have done 9 pages per signature. This is going to be my first one. So this is a bit of, like, it's almost tissue paper. I glued it together to make it a bit more sturdy. Got a real rough, sort of really cool texture. This was from an old book, like that fly page almost, and it's got sort of lines going down it. It's really cool. That's just a bit of new ledger paper, just copy ledger paper type stuff, not old. So we've got from the kit, another bit from the kit, some tea stained, another bit from the kit. This is just old refill paper. You can tell by the colour of it. Lots of writing space in this journal, which is really good. And then we've got the middle, and then we go back over. So I've chosen this one to be my front signature. So that's the first signature. Second signature, it's got some old paper in it again. This is a piece of wallpaper that I picked up a while ago. It's quite thick. I was a bit worried about putting it in, but it's got a really cool texture to it. It's got that golden sort of hue that goes with the kit, so I decided to throw it in. Tea stained. This was just a random page from another kit, background pages that I printed out. Can't even tell you where from. And then once again the middle. So it almost looks upside down, but it's not. It is not. And that's the other side of that yummy wallpaper. So I'm glad to be able to be finally using it. And then the old ledger kit. So that's the number 2. Number 3. This is an from an old German book that I acquired probably about 2 years ago. Don't use it enough. It's quite... it's got a real smooth texture to it, but when you pull it out, it doesn't come out like as, you know, even if you take the middle out, it doesn't come out as 2 pieces together. So I've reinforced it with some washi tape. Bit of old, just normal paper, refill paper. Dory from Which Craft Do You Do? Tea stained. This was another printout, background printout from some random place. Love her. So that's number 3. And then lastly, number 4. So this is a bit of old ledger paper from 1949. Kit, tea stain, a bag, and this almost like hand woven type page. Wallpaper, different type of wallpaper. It's got a shimmery feel to it, or look to it. Really cool texture on the back, and then center, and then back over again. So that's how I am putting my signatures together. Really cool. This was a little bit too long this way and long that way, so I've just folded it up, so it's going to be a tuck spot on this side and then on this side will be a side tuck, and there'll be a little tuck in there too. And that's the end. So that's the 4 signatures that I have. I will sew these in. So how I do these, literally, I wish I had my pokey thing. So they are going to go on the front. They're signature number 1. I am just going to literally, I've already checked to make sure they are all the right way. And where is my thing? So this here, once again, so now, whereas this was too short for that, now it is too long for this. So all I'm going to do, so I make sure that all is exactly the same, is just put a mark on it. Let's put a little bit of a mark on there. We'll fix that later. And move this up a bit. And all I do is just line those 2 up. And then poke a hole in there. 2, 3. And that's it. So we've got our 1, 2, 3 holes. Let's poke it a little bit more, make sure there's a bit of a hole there. And then I'll sew my signatures in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I will probably pick this. When you sew it in, pick a colour that's going to blend a bit, because you do see the 1st and the 4th signature, which is why I've chosen this colour. So I will be back after I've sewn these in, and we will start on the next part. Right, I'm back again. So this is my front, back, and the middle. These were the ones that didn't print out so great. They've got lines down them, so I'm just having a look on if I can see lines. Like I can see lines down here, but not that, and I quite like that. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe fussy cut and put that on the back. I can't use her, but I'll be able to use this at some stage. So if you have the kit, just print a couple extra pages out maybe. And fussy cut around an image or something. I mean, I've probably picked the most detailed one. I didn't actually look through mine, but I really like the look of this. I think it will be nice on the back. And I'm not being super fussy. Just enough to give it some shape. And I'll just quickly work around there. Got a quiet household today. I'm filming this on a Sunday, and we're all feeling a little bit under the weather, to be fair. So yeah, what I might do is just snip them off. and I might snip that off too. So cool, and then we need something contrasting. I'm going to keep that, might use that later, so I'll put that in with everything else. I'm going to try and be tidy as I go along. Just having a look to see. I could choose that. Actually, it would have made sense just to use that. I think I'm going to change my mind after all that. I think what I'm going to do, I've got two choices. It's always good to have choices. So this, at the moment, in case I didn't say, I'm working on the back cover. Let's just go across here. And then, so I want that, definitely want that butterfly, so I think I'm just going to cut like around there. Maybe from here. Let's have a look anyway, see what it looks like. Yeah, so quiet household today. Daughter number 2 is in her room. Yeah, that's cool. Keep that for another day. Now, what do I want underneath this? Do I want get rid of that. I quite like the writing on this. So we could go a bit like that. I mean, after all, it's only the back cover, so I'm not going to be layering or anything like that. Let's put this down, give it a bit of ink. You can find all this in the kit. Like I said, just double print it or print a couple extra pages out of the ones that you think that you will use if you're using this, following along and using the same kit as me. Do I need? I need my glue book and I need my glue. So let's get this down. And then ink around this. Make it pop out a bit. And then we'll put that there. Do we need a bit of cloth? I've got this over here. Sorry, I'm just reaching out. I've got something like this is quite a cool yellowy colour. Old vintage piece. I'm not sure what it was of, but yeah, we'll use it. Give it a bit of texture, quite like that. So I'm going to use my glue stick to put that down. And that can just pop out of the, yeah, quite like that. What I'm also going to do is just add a bit of art glitter glue on that too, just because it's got that netting. Not a whole heap, just enough to help it stick. And that purple will dry clear. Cool. So that, I'm quite happy with that, how that's turned out. That's the back. That's the back done. Let's have a look at the middle strip. Middle strip, normally I just put just something a little bit different down the middle. I don't go overboard. Where's that journal? So yeah, just a strip. That was the back of that one. So I just added that on the back and added that label. That's all I did with that one. So I just want a strip to go down there. I don't need it to be fancy. I'm just looking for the stripes. So maybe we just do something like that. I'd like to have just a tad, actually, what about that? It's quite yellow, which is good. So, ruler, actually even that, get rid of this edge. And that is 1 inch, so I'm going to make it about there. Oops, that's not straight. So that's all I want, is just to cover that middle bit. Make sure it's straight. Yep. And then let's just fold that up. Cool. How are we going for time? Okay. So I think next time, the signatures are now sewn in. We've got the back done. We've got the spine done. Maybe that way. Back done, spine done. We will do the topper. I will show you now, so if anyone hasn't made a corset journal and they're watching, they can do this while they are waiting for the next video to come out, which will be next week. I will show you how the measurements to put the topper on. Get all this out of the way. Right, so you've got you've got your back. Make sure if you've got music that the words are actually not upside down, they're all correct. So you've got your spine done already. Flip that over. This is where you want your, so this is the edge that you want your eyelets to go. So flip it over. This here, which was the right way, doesn't matter really at the end of the day. Flip it over, and same with, so this edge here will have the eyelets. Flip it over. Doesn't matter if we add our eyelets next, because we'll do our topper anyway, and we'll make sure we avoid them. Okay, so what you need to do, or what I did, was I measured 5 millimeters in, put a mark, 5 millimeters in, put a mark, and then rule. Did the same on this edge, and then I did the same on both those edges and ruled down. Then I pretty much put this against my mat, and it is every inch. I'll just see if you can see that in there. Yeah. So every inch, mark it, like put a little cross there, each one, and you should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I then did it on this one too. So we've got 7 marks. You could, and that's where your eyelets go, you could do the same on there, but I've made a few now where I've become a little bit more canny at it. Anything to make it easier. So you line them up, and you've got your cross there. So making sure they're nice and even. I just drew a cross from that dot to that dot, that dot to that dot, so all the way down. So where they meet is where you put your eyelets. So that's pretty much the easiest way I can explain it. I'm going to finish this video because we're coming on to 27 minutes. So half an hour type thing. So I'm going to put my all I'm going to do is put my eyelets in, put my row of eyelets in. So the ones down there, I'm going to put them in there and in there and in there. And then when I come back next time, we'll be ready to do the topper, and we'll be ready to stick. Will we stick it down? No, we'll do the topper, see how we go for time, and we might string it up and then glue these on. But yeah, so back, middle, and I'm just going to put these in off camera. So I hope that you have just like this, well, it's not a tutorial, it's just a craft with me. I will see you next time, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, until next time, enjoy your week, and I will catch you after the weekend.